Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and bishops of Great Millstone who teach and rule well, who continue to magnify the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, who teach truth, 100% sound doctrine. And to the prophets and brothers continuing to push this work and this doctrine in all sincerity to the sheep and feed them well. Almighty Shalom to you as well. In this epistle, I aim to centralize the main focus that the Most High Yahweh, his name being very specific and one of a kind and truly should be holy and reverenced, does not place his name just anywhere willy-nilly, but he sets up his name in specific places of this earth, plots of safety and sanctuary for those who have fear and reverence and wish to abide underneath of his statutes and commands, a safe place to dwell. And not every place is a safe dwelling, not even in familiar spirits that congregate in churches and have fellowship with one another. So the first precept I want to bring out, and I structure these understandings sometimes manifold and twofold, so that way you can get a little bit over here and a little over there, and you can build your understanding in two pathways to truth, to continue to strengthen yourselves, because you have to be able to go here and go there to expound on the understanding, because sometimes the wisdom is so manifold that you have to build your recipe in order to bring forth the medicine, in order to cure. First verse, Proverbs 18:10, it says, the name of Yahweh is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. So his name, everything underneath of his name, his promises, his judgments, and his statutes performs who he is, his title, his name, his strong tower. And if you are showing allegiance to another name and you are giving that deity with the doctrine of that deity, the reverence and the glory, you are putting his name to an open shame. You are calling on another power. So the name of the Most High Yahweh has strength and truth, and everything after that is watered down and does not have the same force or strength or even truth in it. So your significant other, your loved one, your children, you call them by a different name, they're not going to respond. And for anyone to say that it really doesn't matter the pronunciation and the dialect of which you call on, he knows our heart and who we're calling on. Well, in Exodus chapter 23:13, it says to be circumspect and make no mention of any other names, any other gods, because the Most High does not put his name just anywhere as a safety and refuge. So to open up with the verse, that the righteous run into the tower, and his name is a strong tower. It is a place of refuge, a dwelling place to set our peace, our shalom. So with that being said, I think I want to go and grab, let's go to Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19 and 30. Leviticus 19. I'm in Exodus. Sorry. Leviticus 19 and 30. Leviticus 19 and verse 30. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahweh, your power. Real straight to the point. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths, which are to be very holy. They're an appointed time for his set apart righteous to congregate, have fellowship with, and honor him and glorify his name in truth, mind you, in order to keep his Sabbaths holy and reverence his sanctuary, which he will place his name on. That is abiding under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalms 91:1. The secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, in a dwelling place. So a place of refuge, he will place his name there. And it must substantiate with truth, and you must have fellowship with those who have the same spirit of truth, because anything outside of truth is a lie. Anything outside of truth is a lie. So, you shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. Reverence your sanctuary. What do you mean? What do you mean, Abanaw Yahweh? What do you mean? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 12. Maybe we can get some insight from that chapter as to what's he mean by keeping that sanctuary holy. Deuteronomy chapter 12. And I'm going to briefly scan through this just to bring out some edifying points, and then you want to read the chapter for yourself. By all means, you should do so. Deuteronomy chapter 12. These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land, right? In the land, a place, which the Most High Yahweh of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it all the days that ye may live upon the earth. So there's a land that is going to be sanctified and cleansed because you are abiding in the law, statutes, and commandments, keeping them reserved for righteousness and cleanliness, right? And then he will place his name on it. Is he going to put the name of JC on it? Is he going to put the Yahuwahus, the Yahwehs, all these different deities? Because these deities have different understandings, different truths that might not reverence the Holy One of Yasha Allah, Yahweh. Verse 2, ye shall utterly destroy all the places therein, the nations which ye shall possess, served their gods. There's multiple gods, right? Little gods. Upon the high mountains and upon the hills and under every green tree. So nothing in your space is supposed to resemble anything outside of the nature of this truth. This book. Nothing in your space. You shouldn't be calling on anything that resembles another deity. You shouldn't have anything in your feast days that polluted, that resemble anything that the other heathens are doing, anything, because the truth has been watered down. So you have to come back to the full strength of the understanding. Verse 3, and ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. And ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. So he's not telling you to physically go take a bat or a crowbar and go smack on the little statues of Buddha and all these other things, that profane the name of Yahweh Bahashem Hamashiach Yahushai. Because he says that upon us receiving the sound doctrine, the truth of his scriptures, that he's going to restore us, our heritage, our name, and a pure language, a pure, holy, set-apart language. And with that set-apart language comes forth a different understanding other than what was taught previously, because before the seals were locked up, the understanding was locked up until the time of the end when he popped the seals open, administered his Holy Quadash spirit unto his elect to bring forth sound doctrine, right? So right now, we're still going to try and showcase that he does not set his name in every place. His name is very set apart, even on the Sabbath day. We're going to try and correlate and bring this all together. Verse 4 of Deuteronomy chapter 12, it says, you shall not do so unto Yahweh your Elohim, but unto the place which the Yahweh your Elohim shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there. He's putting his name in a specific place for you to dwell and have rest. Because not every place is a place of rest, not even on the Sabbath. You might be having fellowship on the Sabbath with those who are not in union with the truth, which now you are now aligning yourself with lies and doctrines of devils on the so-called Sabbath, right? Because now there's a place that he has chosen to give you rest and to enjoy the Sabbath and to congregate with those who are like-minded. I'm going to bring out all the precepts. But unto the place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose out of all the tribes to put his name there, even unto his habitation shall ye seek, and thither thou shalt come. And thither you shall bring your... Okay, so I'm going to just go down to verse 11 of Deuteronomy chapter 12, and you can read all this yourself. Verse 11, then there shall be a place which Yahweh your Elohim shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your burnt sacrifices, your tithes and your heave offerings of your hand, and all that your choice vows which ye shall vow unto Yahweh. Right? So the point is that there's a specific place for you to show reverence and altar. This is the reason why the children of Israel were supposed to keep the statues in their own land, so they can have homage and reverence unto the Holy One, to keep everything set apart, to be pure, pure truth, for pure culture, the right mindset, the right spirit on how to operate in all matters and all things and all situations. This is set apart, holy and Kodash, and even on the Sabbath day, right? So so now you know. Now I'm bringing forth some edification that the Most High has set. You hear people often, I need to go find myself a church. I need to go find a church. I need to find the right congregation. They'll go church hopping to see if their spirit is in alignment with whatever spirit is in that place, and being taught what they have heaped unto themselves. Having itching ears. They want to be told smooth things. They don't want to hear that they might suffer the loss of all things, even their loved ones. They don't want to hear that they might be utterly broke and living on the street and have to rely on those around them for substance, in which the Most High will set up for them to be bread unto us, right? They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, you know, from here straight to the kingdom and blah, blah, blah. And even they're so in a hurry to set up their own paradise here on earth and in this land that they're willing to make their own sanctuary here, a safe haven, which the Most High might not set his land on there, his name on there. Sorry, Salakia. Sorry. Let's not get too stirred away. Boom. Let's go to Nehemiah. I always forget where Nehemiah is, man. It's in the 700s. Ah, hallelujah. Nehemiah 1 and 9. Nehemiah 1 and 9. It says, but if you turn to me and keep my commandments and do them, though there were of you cast out unto the outermost parts of the heavens, or heaven, yet will I gather them from thence, and I will bring them unto the place that I have chosen to set my name. So the Most High is going to collect the righteous seed, the holy, the Kodah, to set apart those that have been cleansed by truth and put through the fire of affliction to be made as pure gold unto himself, a peculiar treasure, he says, a peculiar people. He's going to take them and put them in a place where he's going to set his name, a refuge, strong tower, right? That's Nehemiah chapter 1, verse 9. Let's go to Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, like-minded, one spirit, one mind, achad, reverencing the same. Ain't nobody gonna be in a congregation calling on different powers, having a different understanding of what the truth is being said. That's craziness. That's crazy. That's division. Sorry, Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36. Ezekiel 36, beloveds. 17. Ezekiel 36, 17. It says, and I'm going to maybe go down to 23. Ezekiel 36, starting at chapter 17. It says, Son of man, when the house of Yasha'Allah, or Israel, dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as uncleanness of a removed woman. adulteress. You call on a different power. You're laying in bed with somebody else and you don't know your husband's name, because we're the bride. You don't know his name. He's going to be like, who you calling on? Who is this person that you're calling on? You're reverencing someone else that you're laying in bed with that is not me. He's going to torch that mattress up. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they have shed upon the land, and for their idols wherewith they had polluted it. And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings. I judged them. Where am I going? To 23. And when they entered unto the heathen, whither they went, they profaned my holy name. They put his name to an open shame, our ancestors. And we did at a time put our father to an open shame. We were picking up the customs of the heathens. We were calling ourselves all these different by names that weren't a true name. We weren't called by the name of Yahweh or Yasharallah. We picked up all the customs of the heathen. So he said, because you don't want to follow my way and follow the ordinance of my house, you now are going to be serving the heathens out there until you recognize your offenses. And then when you call on me, I will hear my people. Verse 21. But I had pity for mine holy name, which the house of Yasharallah had profaned among the heathen, whither they went. No one can look at someone as holy, set apart, if you are okay with people getting high around you, if you are continuing to immerse yourself with people that are calling on other deities, you're lukewarm. You're seeking the approval of men and women around you. You want to be at peace with all men in that fashion, but you can only be at peace with those who are like-minded in the same spirit and have the fear and reverence of the Holy One of Yasharallah, Yahweh. 23. Therefore say unto the house of Yasharallah, thus saith Yahweh Elohim, I do not this for your sakes, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake. Holy, if you go down into the Strong's or the Blue Letter Bible and look up that word, it starts to lead you on a path that is very separate from everything else. It's a holy name. It's set apart, which means it's unique in nature. It's one of a kind. One power. One name, which ye have profaned among the heathen. You put his name to open shame. How can someone, walk in this manner, be a person of who they say they reverence to when they're, they're just profane? Micah 2:10 says, to arise and depart, for this is not your rest. For this is not your rest, for it will utterly destroy you, and even with a sword destruction, for it is truly polluted. So there's a place of rest, and there's a place that's not fit for rest, because he has put his name there, right? Where I want to go. So Isaiah 58:13 and 14, right? Do I want to jump there real quick? So there's a place that the Most High is going to set his holy name and cause that sanctuary to be holy. And it's in the council of those that are holy, considered holy in Kodash, set apart, and which they would also have sound doctrine, truth, a set apart truth, singing the same song, right? That cannot be learned, but only taught by the Most High himself. It's a set apart sound. Going into the Sabbath, right? Because he places his name and his dwelling in a particular place. You see others that choose to do their own, thing. They abandon his sanctuary, because the first verse I brought out in Leviticus 19:30, he says to, I'll bring it out again so I can also be refreshed in it. Sorry. I'm bringing a point. I am bringing a point. Leviticus 19:30. Leviticus 19:30. He said, you shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. So he has set a place for you to dwell and enjoy your Sabbaths. A place that you should not be separated from. Because if you profane the Sabbath by doing things that you want to do, you have now put his sanctuary to an open shame and brought in curses, which I read in Deuteronomy chapter 12. You know, this is what you're supposed to do in a clean, holy place. This is how you reverence the Sabbath, right? Boom, boom, boom. Sorry, give me a second. So Isaiah chapter 58, 13 and 14, it says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, or you step away from your rest, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, it's his holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. What words should you be speaking on the Sabbath? 14, then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh hath spoken it. So, if you step away from doing what you want to do on a Sabbath, what you think you should be doing on a Sabbath, then he will cause these blessings to come upon you, which is, first and foremost, when you seek the heaven, he will cause all these blessings to add on to you, which is wisdom, sound doctrine, because this was our inheritant right, to be full of wisdom and to be set apart from the unprofane and the unclean. With that being said, I'm going to jump over into Exodus 16. Exodus 16. Bringing home a point. Exodus 16 and 22. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for 1 man, that all rulers and congregation came and told Moses. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahweh hath said. The Most High had said this. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahweh. Bake that which ye shall bake today, and seethe that ye will seethe, and that which remaineth overlay up for you to be kept until the morrow. Prepare on the 6th day enough so you can rest in a dwelling where he will place his name on the 7th day. On the 7th day, right? Bringing home a point. On the 7th day. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. It was blessed, it was kept fresh. And Moses said, eat that today, for today is the Sabbath unto Yahweh. There's a specific day which we were supposed to reverence, the Sabbath day. It's not made up, it's found right here in the scriptures, what the Sabbath day is. Today ye shall find in the field. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the 7th day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day to gather, and they found none. They went out of their dwelling, they went out of their sanctuary, they went out where he did not put his name, and they found nothing, right? And it came to pass that there went out some of the people on the 7th day for to gather, and they found none. That includes the truth. That includes sound doctrine. No matter where you go out there, you can go into any church establishment and go see if you find yourself some hidden manna, that bread from manna that you should be resting with on the 7th day. 6 days work, 7th day you rest. Nothing that cannot be broken. There's no Sabbath within 2 high holy days. It's all cyclical every 7th day. Every 7th day. Right? Remember that. Verse 28. And Yahweh said unto Moses, how long refuse you to keep my commandments and my laws? The Most High is now getting like a little stirred up. 29. See, for that Yahweh hath given you the Sabbath, therefore he giveth you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Abide ye every man in his place. The point. Let no man go out of his place on the 7th day. So the people rested on the 7th day. On the 7th day, brought you forth from the land of Egypt. So now that we're rehearsing the righteous acts and so on and so forth, he's telling us that wherever he sets his name at is a dwelling for you to have refuge, safety, and provision. You step outside of that, place, that dwelling place, wherever he had set you, you're going to be profaning that land, that home, and everything there in it, especially yourself. If you have profane things and not sound doctrine in your mind and laid up in your heart, and you bring it into your gates, that's also defiling your sanctuary. It's not going to be a place where he sets his safety over. That blood is not going to cover that. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. Does that mean that you shouldn't have fellowship or congregate with those that are, in the same spirit as you? No, it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that at all. One second. He says not to forsake the assembly, right? Do not forsake the assembly. So, let's touch on that a little bit too. Do not forsake the assembly. Can you congregate with just everybody? Everybody who's calling on whoever they want to call on? I don't know. I don't think so. You have to be of one mind, one body, one spirit, in the same truth, one doctrine, singing one song. Psalms 133:1, it says, behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. That also means that on the Sabbath day, you're allowed to congregate. So when we were in our land, and it was holy and Kodash, the gates were closed, and everybody could fellowship in that manner because the gates were closed. There was no in and out. There was no buying and selling. There was nothing like that. We kept the Sabbath holy, and we kept his word in our mouth. We professed his glory and talked about him all the time, which we want to do today and forevermore. So, we're called back home to continue to, talk about the Most High Yahweh and profess his name and keep his ways. So that way we can have his hand over our dwelling and resting places, wherever that may be. We could be on foot and still have his cover and be surrounded by the angels. The angels encamp around those that fear the Most High and keep his ways. For he is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it and are safe. This is all fact. But forsake not the assembly, and congregate with those that be like-minded. You can be congregating with those who do not reverence the same power as you. You guys may have some similarities, but it might not be in the same understanding. You might want to really be circumspect about those that you share your space with. It might be of a different spirit. Be set apart. If they, speak anything outside of sound doctrine, it's because there's no light in them. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 8. We're touching on forsaking not the assembly. 2nd Ezra chapter 8. Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. Pride seems to be a veil over people's eyes, because they believe themselves to be in the truth, walking in the truth, and they have an outward appearance, but they profess him with their mouth, but their heart is far from him. But he says, many great miseries will fall upon those that do not continue to eat drink the sincere milk, and be like babes every single day. Every day you must not stand on, not be able to learn. You have to continue be open to be learning. You can't just think you know it all and just keep it pushing. Verse 51. But understand thou for thyself, and seek out the glory for such as be like thee. Those who are in one accord, in the same sound doctrine, calling on the same deity, open up understanding where you're being fed and washed. Those are the ones you can congregate with. And it's not like you have to leave your home and drive somewhere to congregate with those who are like-minded, because we have now that accessibility of having the internet to fellowship with those that be like thee. And if you're congregating with those that are outside of the truth, and that's your lot. That's your lot. So continue to congregate. Sirach 13. Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 13. 13 and 15 to 21. It says, every beast loveth his like, and every man loveth his neighbor. All flesh consorteth according to kind, and a man will cleave to his like. Right? Every man is going to cleave to those who are calling on the same false god. They're going to cleave to one another because they share the same mirth. You know, they find joy in, you know, lies or truth. We find joy in truth. Verse 17 of Sirach chapter 13, it says, what fellowship have the wolf with the lamb, so the sinner with the godly? What agreement is there between the hyena and a dog? And what peace between the rich and the poor? As the wild ass is the lion's prey in the wilderness, so the rich eat up the poor. As the proud hate humility, so doth the rich hate abhor the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away also by his friends. So you can see that there's a distinguishing congregation. A wolf, a dog, a this, a that, a sinner, a righteous. There's a separation. And there's definitely a separation of those that are calling on different deities. And those deities will have you believe something that's not true, like profaning the Sabbath and all those things. But you got to line it all up and seek out wisdom for yourself, right? Last precept, Sirach 9 and 15. I probably should have grabbed that one first. Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 9 and 15. Let thy talk be with the wise, and all thy communication in the law of the Most High. And let just men eat and drink with thee, and let thy glorying be in the fear of the Lord. So this is what the congregation of the righteous will be doing in set apart in Kodash settings. You know, we'll be reflecting on the words of the Most High, putting on righteousness and putting on wisdom. You know, it says that let our time be fulfilled in prophecy. I'll try to find it real quick. Okay. Sirach chapter 39. Thank you, Abanawa Yahweh. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High and is occupied in the meditation thereof will seek out the wisdom of the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. He will keep the sayings of the renowned men, and where subtle parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. He shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travel through strange countries, and he hath tried the good and the evil among men, having discernment and wisdom in all things. So, as this avenue, this congregation of the wise is being opened up publicly and unto the elect, we are given ourselves chiefly to this ministry to be conversant in dark parables and sentences, because this is paramount to salvation. Anything outside of that, you are surfighting. You have the cares of this life. You're putting off being called from the wedding feast. You're like, listen, I have a farm. I got to tend to the farm. I just got married. I got to tend to my marriage. I put more things of importance before giving myself over chiefly to the law of the Most High and occupied in the meditation thereof. You're occupied. Your heart posture is centered on saving your life and not giving yourself up to the Most High for him to give you salvation. You're saying, I can do this. I got to put other things before you, Most High. Thank you. But no, thank you. That's a disgrace. And there is deities, the gods that you call on, that will have you in that heart posture to give you misunderstanding for you to be a stumbling block, because Hamashiach, Yahushua, is a stumbling block to those that don't receive him, because they have filled with pride, lust. They judge you by your outward appearance. They cannot see the spirit that's in you. They say, oh, look at you. You come off as, this and that and this and that. No, we have a way to conduct ourselves so that way we are well received. And if we stay locked into the spirit, and not let anything cause us to be fickled by whatever spirit, we may gain that person. We may be able to gain that person, but after one or two admonishings, if they receive it not, whatever, we have to move on. We have to move on. And I pray that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. And till the next time, Shalom.